Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Magic and Miracles, where you learn how to be the magician of your life. My name is Anna, and I'm your most favorite manifestation life energy coach under the sun. Reason why there is no such coaching program like my coaching program, because I've designed it myself during the last 9 years that I've been coaching people of all walks of life. And also, another very important reason is that no coach on planet Earth spends as much time with and on their clients like I do. True story. 2 to 3 times per week we rendezvous. If you're in my coaching, every session is recorded via Zoom or via a phone call for your notes, for my notes, and for you to watch your progress in real time. I cover everything in my coaching, starting with your childhood, adolescence, all the way up until today. Reason why is because I want to know the structure of your belief system currently that is operating and that's creating your life at hand. After that, we go through some processes of essentially processing whatever emotion that keeps you stuck in the past, releasing certain things, forgiving people. All of that junk has to go, essentially, reworking your belief system. And then, and only then, I give you everything that I have as far as how to manifest. The manifestation part is the last one because it's you. You're the job. You need to really redo your thinking, get a new perspective, get a new vibration. Very important. Can't stress this enough in order to be able to manifest from the vantage point where you are now, with which you operate, the belief system with which you operate. You cannot manifest anything else, no matter what any other coach tells you. And if anybody speaks like me, you know they're copying me. I don't need to repeat it. It's obvious. Do yourself a favor and do this process once and for all, but in a good way, in the right way, in the way that will stick and you won't need to revisit. Okay, I recommend 2 to 3 months in coaching with me. This gives me ample time to go through my coaching program, but also to leave you with all the knowledge that I can possibly teach you that worked for me, worked for many clients of my own during the 9 years that I've been coaching, but also to leave you with like definite tools and with a definite understanding of what to do next, how to achieve things. Most of my clients manifest within the coaching, or at the very least, what I can definitely guarantee is that you will change your vibration, you will change your state of mind and state of feeling. The emotional makeup will change dramatically because you would have cleansed all the drama, trauma, panorama, as I call it. But most people definitely have 99% of the people, true story, in my coaching have a shift. They have a shift, and if you have that shift, you can start manifesting and or already manifested and in the process of manifesting bigger and greater things. The most important part is you, how you will shift. If you want to be in my coaching, understand this. So going forward, this is what I'm going to ask of everybody. You need to sign the coaching agreement. That goes without saying. You need to print it, sign it by hand, okay, with a pen, and then and date it and print your name. But also scan it, send it, and give me some times that you're available for the first session. Now, what I will require going forward is this. I think it's a good idea if we got together for a session first, for an hour before we embark on this 2 to 3 months journey together, to make sure that this is a perfect fit. I know a lot of people, they listen to my channel and this and that, and I come very well pre-advertised and I'm very straightforward, but I think it goes beyond that. I think it goes with what kind of results you think you want to achieve. And, I'm not here to change your mind based on if this is the right coaching for you or not. I'm not, about to explain that. If you understand it, great. But I think a lot of people think that manifestation is something else. And I just want to work with people who are really serious about creating that shift within themselves and not looking for an easy fix. So as a kind of like a good idea for the both of us, book the first session and then let's establish that we're the right fit and then go forward. Like, again, I want to work with people who are definitely serious about this. And do not put pressure on themselves, or much less me, requesting, certain manifestations to be like delivered by a certain time. I'm not a fucking hocus pocus person. I will teach you what I need to teach you, and you will see that this is an investment, rather than kind of like, a easy fix. Once again, if you're looking for an easy fix, I'm definitely not the coach for you. So if you have any questions, everything is below, and there are some entry-level coaching packages like the video school, as well as the monthly Magic and Miracles audios, which have done tremendously great. And you can start with that if you cannot be in coaching for whatever reason, but ultimately the coaching is where you really achieve magnificent results. So this Saturday we will not have a live. I will be traveling, and so that is going to take place next week. And I always welcome suggestions as far as, what you guys want to talk about, etc., etc. I did have a subject in mind, but because of my own personal travels, this will be postponed. And for some reason, something has happened to my view count on YouTube, so that's being fixed as well. Everything I've recorded for the last 2 weeks, somehow the numbers went up and down, up and down. Now they're really down now. Something's weird happening, so it's being handled. So like some people wrote to me, and yeah, it's weird. Like I have almost 19,000 subscribers, and so my numbers don't make sense right now. So I'll pay attention to that, but ultimately I know how many people watched. I've been paying attention, and so for me the most important thing is not like how I look necessarily, but how many people I help. So the subject of today is what I would have done if I wanted to bring somebody back. And I get that a lot in my coaching. And also, if you haven't watched the live from last time, you should go see. I literally was so transparent in that live. I kind of got a little bit scared. But wised up now. Well, I am as transparent as could be if this helps anybody, right? And I literally kind of like rewatched it, some parts of it, and I'm like, wow, I was really, really honest and transparent. Maybe to some people it might seem like, I don't know, I make things sound easy, but to me they are. And I can only speak from my own experience and just to kind of illustrate where you can be as well. And there's some additions that I wanted to add to the live, which only will make sense if you watch it. The whole bundle of wood was because at the time I didn't have a fireplace. So that was why that was kind of crazy. And then the breeders for my dog, I interviewed with like 25 of them. I'm not even exaggerating, I think. Some like that, like an enormous amount. And it was either I didn't like the puppies, because, not puppies are equal. Not all puppies are equal. I'm sorry, I'm vain like that. I wanted my dog to be like the most beautiful dog ever, and he is. Or they just straight up deny me. It's like adopting a baby, and so they would deny me because at the time I was single. And I don't know, I guess in the Midwest, not for nothing, but people have certain opinions about how responsible a female can be in her late 20s in New York City when she's single. I don't know. Anyway, I'm glad it worked out, and it was wonderful how it did. There was something else. Oh, about my guy. What I did other than create a mental list, mind you, not even a written list. I just created him from my mind. It's so spooky though. And I didn't realize until like a little bit into talking to him. But anyway, I listened to a lot of love songs. I literally made a playlist, just like, let's just play around with this. Let's just see what happens. I knew what was going to happen, but it was purely out of like the joy, pure kind of enjoyment of it. So what would I do if I was in your position and I had an SP to bring back? I would calm down. Okay. The number one thing is I would calm down. Either, you're bringing back an SP, or if you want to change them, I think the process is the same. It's basically you don't enjoy this version and you want to connect with a different parallel version. And I've said this before, I find it way easier to connect with a different version when the old version isn't in your fucking face. And so whilst a lot of you are, really feeling in pain and really missing this person, in this no contact or separation and this and that, understand that this is to your benefit. Huge benefit. Because it's just a wake-up call is really what it is. When these issues arise, is that something needs to be purged, something needs to be realigned, something needs to be looked at. It's good news. It's nothing went wrong. You're not a horrible person. You're not a failure or anything like that. Like, I don't take personally, these things when some things arise. And this is the reason why I'm so fucking transparent on my channel, because I want people to understand that you don't have to be perfect. You have to understand how the quantum physics work and how the energy world works. But to be perfect, nobody fucking asked you of this, ever. You yourself are putting these limitations on yourself that only when I'm perfect can I manifest. No, you're a human being. You're going to be imperfect, so you can manifest, all throughout. But the thing is, nothing went wrong. It's just something needs to be looked at. Okay, something's coming up for you. And this is a moment of truth, of kind of like recalibration, of becoming a higher version of yourself. So that's what's really happening. And so if you understand that, then you have no fears in terms of, well, I created this person themselves like this. Therefore, I have the power to completely play this game on my terms. So this is when you completely give the power back to yourself. You're behind the wheel. You are not saying, oh, they rejected me or they whatever. And I'm a failure and I'm to blame and I'm no good. Kind of these are the conclusions that ordinarily people make, and that's why they feel bad. Parenthesis here. If you changed your mind just all of a sudden, which I know it takes time, and really just did this way offer coaching, understood that this is to your advantage, that you're not to blame, that this is just something to look at, and in fact it will make you more and more empowered when you go through the process of understanding how to never repeat this cycle again and how to never be here ever again. Just fine-tuning your game is what you're doing. Then it doesn't become this like blameful, horrible situation where things are not to your benefit. Everything is to your benefit. If you fundamentally just inserted that into your mind, and again, I understand it takes time. This is why I'm here, really kind of like explaining exactly how it works. You need to rework that in your mind, because if you're thinking just in 1 minute, which is impossible, okay, in this world that we occupy in the 3D, to change your belief system in 1 second. But if you were, okay, to change it from like I'm a failure or whatever to this is to my benefit, and then would derive the benefit. This is what you're looking for, essentially. So I would calm down. The first step is calm down, drink some chamomile tea, and if possible, take a break from this relationship if you are still together and you're not getting along and you're not seeing, what you want to see. Or if you're already separated, then fucking congratulate yourself that you have a chance to redo your thinking so that you can go back into this relationship with a brand new version of them, first of all. But also to have this moment for yourself. Sometimes most of the time, right? People who suffer in relationships are too entangled into these relationships in the worst way. What do I mean by that? There's no more them in the relationship. There's only the other person. In other words, they don't deem themselves important. This is why there are third parties showing up. They don't see their value. This is why the partner doesn't see the value in them. Whatever. But the thing is, you're too entangled with this person. You need to disentangle and remember who you the fuck are. Okay? Who are you? What's your worth? What's your value? What's your identity? And this, it being a wake-up call, is very, very true, because could be that you've never even learned who you really are, never gave yourself the opportunity, because you were programmed, chances are, from childhood, to be somebody you're not, quite frankly. And all of us do this. I've done this. I know up until my late 20s, I've been a person who was just total people pleaser. Even when I wasn't consciously trying to please people, I was still people pleasing with my behavior. Like even the modeling, I did because I wanted to please people, because that's what people wanted me to do. This is what, a girl does when she looks a certain way, and and it's so glamorous, parenthesis, it's not, but and so this was so ingrained in me that I became a different person, rather than completely let that go. I mean, not even engage myself in it and go and do things that I really wanted to do. Okay, so we all do this, but the idea is to completely understand that this right here, what you think is such a punishment, is actually an invitation, an opportunity to revolutionize your life top to bottom. And this has happened to me, and it wasn't exactly your situation perhaps, but through certain sequence of events in my own personal life, and you could go see my story on my channel, that I decided that, enough is enough. I encounter the same kind of bullshit in relationships. I want to play by my own rules, because intuitively I knew that there was a better way. There had to be a better way. And so calming down and putting your life together first is basically where you start. Because in a lot of cases, the people that I coached, they themselves don't have either their life together, okay, or their emotional life together. So let's just say, you have everything, all the finances are together and everything is all right, but still internally there's a lot of letting go to do and rethinking to do. So that's still putting your life together. So whether internal or external, it's basically the same. But in certain cases, it's literally the entire life is a shit show. So then what? And so your focus shouldn't really be at all in this kind of situation, especially not ever, but in this particular kind of situation, if everything kind of is in disarray, you need to take care of your own shit first. And again, this is an opportunity to understand that and to really, do this right, and continue doing it right. So I would look at your life. I would take care of the finances, your business. This is why I encourage people to quit their jobs and go make more money for themselves, working for themselves. Create your new wardrobe, maybe new house, new apartment, whatever it has, to do with your living arrangements even. Okay, maybe your living arrangements is not even like how you live that you want to live. So you're worried about your SP whilst your own life is not kind of together. So looking to your SP to fix your life is not going to happen. It's just not going to happen. You need to be the version that you want to be. And then the version of your SP that you want, okay, will show up. But it isn't going to be like, oh, darling, come here and save me. And they will come and save you. No. That's a fantasy, and that doesn't even make sense. From the standpoint of quantum physics, it doesn't make any fucking sense. So that's not harsh, it's not unfair, it just makes sense. Okay, so if you're not on the frequency of being happy and content, and being over your fears and insecurities yourself, well, guess what? You'll encounter them in other people. And most certainly, the immediate circle, your SP, would be kind of line one of kind of reflecting that to you. Now, I'm not saying, right, again, because some people, have definitely challenged me on this, where it's well, what about other people who, whatever, you run into some assholes. Listen, you know what? It's just part of the story of living this terrestrial life. There's some fucking assholes walking around. And, that's just kind of what it is, And not for nothing, these assholes in my personal, story helped me a lot. I'm always the winner at the end. So, But that's, usually just not something to do with your SP. It's something like some kind of a weird person that just comes along, and then, there's no real importance there. If it is within your SP that the qualities that you're seeing that you really don't like, that's a deeper story. That's a different situation, because that's a complete projection of you. So I don't feel that it's everybody that is your reflection. I really don't. I think there's like a small percentage of people that are just, losers. I don't know. They're not doing anything good with their life, and they want to cause, wreak havoc upon somebody else because they don't have their shit together. So, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not going to answer for every single person who's acting out and doing this, that, and the other. I think that would be incredibly like stupid, especially now that apparently I'm a public person. Can you imagine if I was to answer for every single hater I've got out there? Which I understand there are other coaches. That's the only kind of like sad part. But whatever. It is what it is. So why am I supposed to answer for that? In a situation like that, I don't feel that that's what it would be. But in a situation where it's a SP and you clearly, there's a connection between you and this person, and you're really attracted to this person, but at the same time, they have these qualities that this is how the universe reminds you, hey, you haven't let go of something. So that part is totally true, okay? Because especially if it's a cycle, right? The same thing kind of like shows up in the next person, the next person, the next person. And for me personally, I don't know, it worked like magic when I did the work on myself. I mean, I cried a lot. I was angry a lot. I was a lot of everything a lot around 2012. And I was, at the end of it though, I really saw the result of, and by the way, my process took 2 years in full. Like I really felt like a brand new person at the end of it. But this is me kind of like not wanting you to spend 2 years doing it yourself, or even arriving at that. I want to minimize it to, 2 to 3 months with my guidance, and not only just processing, but offering you everything up I've learned up until now. But I definitely saw the difference in the quality of men that would approach me, that I would attract. It was quite frankly stunning. I'm not even making it up. It was really stunning. And, I was getting, I just had gotten married. This is the other thing I wanted to address, just so that everybody's clear on my personal life. I had just gotten married around 29, and it was a very short-lived marriage. It lasted on paper for some time because he wouldn't give me a divorce. But basically that marriage was over, I don't know, a year and a half into it. And then after that, I clearly saw that was the last hurrah of my fears, of my whatever. And I was truly then seeing the quality of men that I would then date. It was almost intimidating. Let me put it like this, where before it was shit show after shit show. After that, my dating life was fucking exquisite. I'm not going to lie. And that was really profound for me to arrive at this point where I was like, whoa, I saw the demarcation. I saw, the effects of giving myself props for being me, for standing up for myself, for being my authentic self for the first time, like, in ever. So this is what I'm kind of encouraging everybody to do. And I think from that point, it's easier to maneuver anything. And I saw firsthand how magic truly works. So this is what I'm kind of offering to my clients in my coaching. So when you put yourself together, your life together, and you're not freaking out anymore, the number one thing, okay, to understand is that, first, like I already said, on that frequency of being empowered, of being that version, of being expecting different things and being that outcome, most importantly, like being that frequency, being that world, it will be inevitable that you will encounter something else, okay? Because now you are operating from a different mentality. Completely different. And when I mean different, I really mean different. I really mean it's a different show. Okay? Like those old fears, they're not bothering you anymore. I've worked through so much junk and bullshit. It's unbelievable. And some of it was really hard, okay? Some of it was really fucking hard. I'm not gonna lie. But it was like I was fucking determined. And this is why I say, I only want people in my coaching who are as determined as I was, because otherwise, seriously, don't waste my time or your time and money. If you're not determined, what are you doing? You know what I mean? Like, really. But so once your mentality changes and you're thinking a completely different, thinking up a completely different creation, just automatically, like you, by just waking up in the morning and getting up and brushing your teeth, whatever else you do, you vibrate differently, and automatically, on automatic pilot, you attract these versions of people, these versions of events. And so telepathically then you are encouraging and creating only the things that you want. It comes automatically. This is what I discussed in the live also, and in the audio previous to that, where the foundation of the house is the most important thing. So because it is going to be working for you at some point, paying back these dividends that you put into it, the investment of the foundation. And so telepathy is the name of the game, because whilst all of you, I bet you money, are watching 300 million videos on YouTube and doing this and doing that, and some of you energetically chasing the person, or even, texting them and apologizing when you've done nothing wrong, or whatever, basically chasing. That's for amateurs, okay? I know it's hard, but drop all that and become a total kind of superhero over here, and understand this. First of all, I wish somebody told me this like so many years ago, but telepathy, if you can get a handle on yourself and your life and your thinking, is the most potent motherfucking game in the world. There's nothing like it. Whilst you're chasing, you're communicating, first of all, verbatim, but then also energetically, that you're not wanted. How about that? You have to chase, because otherwise nobody's going to want you. That's a very powerful negative statement in an energetic world. And so you continue being not wanted. But whilst you drop all that bullshit and you understand that your thinking can change, and telepathically you can instruct the same fucking SP you chased and you quote unquote embarrass yourself in front of, you can make them chase the way you chase them. Because now you understand your role in this whole shebang, and your role is you're the golden Buddha, you're in charge of what happens. So telepathically instructing your SP to do certain things or not to do certain things, or to be a certain way, is a hell of a lot of easier than chasing them with far better results. With the results that you, quite frankly, haven't dreamt of yet. And so that becomes the number one priority. And this is how I would have done it. This is how I do things every single day. There's no need to convince anybody of anything. There's no need to fight. There's no need to shout. There's no need to prove your boo, your point. You know what? Fine. Whatever. I'll do my shit telepathically. So exhaust yourself, and everybody has a human side. So do I. Obviously, I've made no secret of it. Don't take me for a fucking Jesus, okay? And watch the religious people are going to come after me. I'm not Jesus. I'm Anna. I'm totally fucking human. I have anger, feelings sometimes. I have kind of like frustration, this and that. But the idea is not to stay there, and to really understand that the next thing that you will produce in this person doesn't have to kind of like, you don't have to be perfect, and it doesn't have to have anything to do with what happened before. You can get angry momentarily, in other words, and let that pass through you. This is the healthy way of dealing with anger. Parenthesis here. This is huge, okay? Because most people would rather not even face it, would rather not even attend the party, so to speak. They would rather ignore it and feel nothing. So that is detrimental on so many levels. I'm not going to get into it, but it affects your body, it affects your mental health, it affects all sorts of shit. But most importantly, your vibration and manifestation. So I'd rather feel anger for 5-10 minutes, let it go, and then be done with it versus carrying it around for, I don't know, years and years. Very dangerous proposition. So letting it pass through you, but then remembering that the next thing that you create has to be in alignment with your wishes. In other words, yes, you can be angry and at the same time manifest what you want. Yeah, because this time around, you're not blaming yourself for feeling something. Just don't act on it. Okay, don't don't do stupid things when you're angry. You could feel anger and not do something stupid. Okay, those people, who do are impulsive and very kind of like, especially because if it's not thought through, it's probably very stupid to do something when you're angry, unless it's thought through, right? So again, it's like totally being the master magician of understanding, yes, I'm human, but what I'm creating next doesn't have to reflect me thinking I'm imperfect, or doesn't have to reflect that I fucked something up. So when you have this forgiveness, in other words, having said all this forgiveness is understanding this compassion towards yourself, that it's just as easy as switching frequencies, and that the same person that you chased or that you were really upset over is now chasing you, and you are so solid and you're so stable and you're completely within understanding what's what now. And that's what makes you so magnetic, so powerful, so irresistible. That's the state to get to, right? So two things are happening. Number one, you're letting go of the old version of that SP. You're putting a distance between the two of you in order for you to recalibrate, redo your thinking, create something different. And then two, being completely compassionate towards yourself, understanding of your human nature, not demanding perfection out of yourself. And then moving on to the next without holding on to the past, but not making it wrong either, making it completely okay and perfect and a good starting point to do whatever you need to do right here and now. And again, you don't need to convince anybody. You don't need to beg anybody. You don't need to chase anything, or you don't really need to do so much as to change your thinking. Just change the thinking. But here's the deal. And this is, I feel, a lot of people's situation. So to change your thinking, you must change your beliefs, what it is that you believe. And beliefs die hard. They really do. And they will put up a fight like no tomorrow, whilst you're trying to change them. The negative ones, they will. But if you can just get through that fight and deliver yourself out of that nightmare, you will succeed. But what a lot of people do is that they become so comfortable in the dysfunction that it seems like it's scarier to go into the unknown, which sounds a lot better and a lot healthier, a lot more productive. It's scarier to go there than to stay where you are in the familiar and dysfunctional. And this will be your call entirely, but understand one thing, and this is complete truth. I always, am very, very truthful on my channel. Nothing will change. Nothing will change if you don't change what you're operating from. I don't care what kind of coach you hire, what videos you watch, what meditations you do. I don't care. You will not get there. You will just not. You will frustrate yourself till the end of motherfucking time of doing the same cycle over and over again. And that, be my guest. A lot of people do that. So that becomes the number one situation. If you want to telepathically be a powerful creator, a powerful magician, then the belief systems that you are creating the problem with can create the solution. Just can't. Again, mathematically impossible, physically impossible. Quantum physics don't support that story either. Just saying. So instead of banging your head against the wall, understand it's not a punishment. It's an invitation to an upgrade. Your whole situation with your SP or anything, quite frankly, with money, whatever, you name it. Invitation to an upgrade. Are you going to translate it that way? Or are you going to stay where you are, where it's comfortable in a dysfunction? And a lot of people do that, because it's more comfortable to do absolutely nothing and just stay where you are than, to quite frankly move your ass and do certain things the right way once and forever. And here's the deal. The beliefs, whilst fighting with you, they will tell you how impossible it will be to change for you. They will try to convince you of that. And they will create this illusion that there is no other truth other than the one that they're giving you. And that, of course, is bullshit, because there are different other beliefs that are serving you and to your benefit that will tell you an entirely different story and will feel much more empowering and much more to your benefit for the rest of your life. So there's these bullies constantly, i.e. beliefs that will try to deter you from your upgrade, from leveling up, because they've gotten cozy with you. There are these loser friends that, I'm sure we all had that I don't know, do nothing, sit on the couch and do nothing all day. And should you kind of cut them off, they put up a riot. Well, it's about time to cut those negative beliefs, those habits of thinking, etc., etc. So like I said, all of this just really serves you. It's an invitation to a different life, to an upgrade. Anytime that something, happened to me in the past, even before I really started to understand how to create my reality, every time that something would happen to me that was seemingly negative, I would receive an upgrade of some kind. And that's just, the way that the universe works, because it shows you something to look at, to work through, and to create a way for you to become a better version of yourself. But we can go into this in coaching, how telepathy works, what it really means and what it is you're doing. But the whole thing can happen completely at a distance. They can be on the fucking moon. I don't care where they are, how long you haven't seen them, this, that, and the other. It doesn't have to be such a long process. It doesn't have to be that you're suffering. You can just enjoy the creation of this new SP. You can just enjoy the development of this new story for you, first and foremost. And you really have to understand one thing. Going forward, you cannot make this life about anybody else but you. And this is not narcissistic. This is just common sense. If you're too entangled with somebody and the mere disagreement or parting with them means that the world is over, you need to look at that, because number one, nothing is forever and you can totally change any situation. But the mere fact that this is a suggestion in your mind is not exactly healthy. So you really need to make it more about yourself, in the sense that with or without this person, you're going to be just fine. And the paradox is such that when you're operating from that premise, you can have them in 3 seconds, okay? Nothing is permanent. Every situation can be changed. Now, of course, as you know or may know, I draw the line at abuse. If this person was abusive to you, cut and run. That's it. Period. The end. No need to turn back. I think you need to work on yourself not to attract this again. It's not a laughing matter at all. I've been through it myself. You just need to completely revisit what's in your life, and work on forgiveness and letting go of that energy. And that's it. And, this person will come back with an apology, I'm sure, once you're kind of processed and healed. But to come back to to that person for another try, I don't think so. It's just not, not something that I believe will be beneficial to anybody. But other than that, everything is telepathic. You can instruct that person to return to you. You can reconstruct them, top to bottom. You can reconstruct your relationship top to bottom. Everything is completely up to you. But again, the main dish is you. The main resource is your mind. And so changing your mind about who you are, what you represent, your worth, etc., will put you on a different in a different way on this playground of life, if you will, or however you want to say it. It's going to be completely reverse. And like I said, the very person that you chased, even in the physical, in the 3D, will be chasing you, and you will see how easy it is to play this game. Not like a revenge, or not from the point of view of, well, I got you now and look at you, but just mere understanding of like, this is how you create, this is how you manipulate the energy, and this is what you're all born to do, to create by manipulating energy. And I offer a lot of audios as far as that goes in my Magic&Miracles monthly package. We go into magic spells and all that good stuff in there. But you understand how it all happens. How it all happens. How it all was under the... how it all was supposed to be. How it all was supposed to be in the first place. So you're getting a do-over. So that's a magnificent piece of news. Piece of news. Piece of news. Okay. It really is, and take it as such. And again, if you don't understand anything of what I just said, if this is a brand new idea to you that you could achieve this, then, like I said, schedule a session with me. I'm sorry. Can I make it through? Sorry. Schedule a session with me. We'll discuss your situation, and I'll offer you. There's a lot that I do. Oh, this is the other thing I wanted to say, because a lot of people are asking me. There's a lot that I do in the first session. Obviously, you share your story with me. I ask you a bunch of questions, primarily about how you grew up. That's what I'm interested in. And I do give you tools by the end of the session, of what to do next. So if you never even come into coaching with me, you get a lot. You do, because I'm pretty good. dare I say so myself. And I can tell you exactly what is stopping you and what I would work on. Now, the work, of course, needs to be unpacked. And that's what I do in coaching. One by one, we talk about everything, and I give you all the exercises and the tools. And so, but the initial session, I will give you the answer. And 99% of the time, I'm correct. And, people who have stayed with me in coaching, yeah, I definitely, or I don't, so I give you an idea, but in some cases I need to hear more, because every case is different. But in most cases, even if I don't say it to you, I'm correct, and I will give you guidance that will definitely help you. And again, not to brag, but I do channel in these sessions. This is just what I noticed that I do, that something else is coming in, kind of like a divine power, if you will. I don't know what to call it. I'm not like Abraham Hicks, no. They're closing their eyes and nodding their head. No, it's just I noticed that there's a presence that's coming in to help me and takes over, more or less, and I'm just kind of like the vessel for it. I don't have a name for it or anything, and I don't close my eyes like Bashar either. Even though Bashar I really love, parenthesis here, and Abraham Hicks, I think she's full of shit. Why do I think she's full of shit? Because I don't know, it's a cut and paste answer every time. So whatever. Comparing to Bashar, which is no comparison at all, there's always kind of like, a deeper discussion. So If I were you today in a situation where you need to understand what you need to do, the first thing is to calm down and to understand nothing went wrong. And from then, if you can book a session with me, great. I would suggest that highly suggest you do that. You will absolutely be grateful. Provided, of course, I resonate with you and how I think. But ultimately, it would need to be, yes, a deep dive into your consciousness in order to correct this. And by the end of that, you will not feel like this victim that you feel like today. You will completely be empowered with the understanding of what to do next and how to proceed next. That's just what a change of thinking does to you. And that to me is a kind of like a life transformative event that needs to take place at some point in your life. So again, just consider this a tremendous blessing, and that you've always been empowered to stir the wheel of this story all along. Because when there are no more hesitations, no more fears, no more insecurities, no more of the old programming, it's so easy to create, it might just bore you. I'm so serious. You might just be like, wow, this is too easy. And that's what, every time that, I record something for my channel or I go live or anything like that, I just want to really show everybody how really simple this is. This is completely born with this power that you've completely forgotten about, and it really is that easy and simple. And when you really understand how easy and simple this is, you'll just look at other people who are doing stupid, dumb shit to hurt others or to whatever, do something crazy or stupid to others, and you'll be like, wow, that's so stupid. That is really stupid, because you can have anything you want just by being yourself, just by being your authentic true self, and hurting no one, taking nothing from anybody, just being completely authentic yourself. And it will have what people consider problems. So there's different levels of creation. So the level from which I'm speaking today, I'm okay with having problems, and I think everybody should be. It's how you deal with the problem. So if, again, I'm going to repeat myself for what I said previously, is that if you make this a problem, it's going to continue to be a problem. It's not a fucking problem. It's an opportunity. So what others may perceive as problems or whatever, to me, if something is not just popping up in my reality or something is not going quite like what I thought, I'm curious. I'm genuinely intrigued, because I think this is definitely something really nice waiting for me at the end of this. I just have a belief that everything goes according to my plan, regardless of what it seems like. And so this is the mentality with which to create freely, rather than assuming you are a victim of the circumstances. And if you really kind of look back at your memories and examine the thinking and literally the words and the ideas and the feelings that you're entertained before something happened, you'll take credit for your creation. So take credit for this one too, but now understand how to create on another level, where you handle problems differently, easily, quickly, with savvy approach, with a very kind of elevated thinking, rather than descending into this darkness. Descending into the darkness is entirely optional. And it doesn't matter what anybody else is doing, what anybody else is thinking. It matters not. This is the universe of one person, you. It's spelled YOU, universe, in my book. So when you relax like this and you know you can deal with anything because you've got the power of this universe, through your vibration, through the magic of your vibration, the energy that you emit day in and day out, how on automatic pilot you could just attract any fucking thing without even asking for it, not even like writing it down like myself, like just making a mental note. I want it to be like this and like that. That's all that's necessary for you to create. But in the beginning, is what I'm teaching, how to script and all these kinds of things. You will have to, do baby steps. But after a while, you will get to a point where you just think of something, think of someone, and they will be messaging you, they will be calling you, they will be doing whatever you want them to do. Okay? So isn't this a fun proposition? Even though, yes, you thought that you wanted to suffer because of this, and now I'm giving you another option where you can actually completely reverse this situation and make it into something that completely benefited you in every department of your life. Because when you're raising your vibration and you're redoing your thinking, all the parts of your life, they augment your finances, your relationships with other people, your friendships. I mean, the way you look, even. All of these things, they go with the new version of you, the new world, which it has already been created. It's just waiting for you to come along. So that's what's happening instead of what you think is happening. So entertain this perspective, and I'm recording this extra long audio on purpose because of no live and, not being really active this week, and understand what this really represents. Okay, please make sure you check out my other material on my channel before booking me. Please make sure my personality is in sync with yours and all that jazz. Again, very direct, very strong personality. Not to say that I'm harsh in my coaching, not at all. Very gentle when I need to be. I just am direct in that I won't sugarcoat things for you and I won't lie to you. Okay, I'm doing that to serve you so that you can get results, not just temporary results, but permanent results. And if you have any questions after that, email me or just book the first session and let's discuss your availability and connect. Okay, if you have any questions, email me directly. Until next time, ciao, ciao.